F Memphis. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
It's going to be a wild Wednesday. We got the gang all here in the house. It'll be Dennis time in a few minutes. Dennis Philippi here. Joe Dank on the business of sports. We will end with golf picks. And apparently, if you pick Scotty Scheffler, you're going to win a bunch of money. And we'll get into that and a whole lot more with the gang, including Johnny Lyons, Mickey Barker, the czar of public golf, Greg Hines from Windike. The numbers are in. The FedEx St. Jude Classic TV ratings, a winner. If you were listening to Greg and Eli this morning, you heard Robert Miller. They smashed all the sponsorship records, but the TV numbers are impressive too. Joe's going to talk about them, but according to CBS, it delivered the most watched FedEx Cup playoffs opening event in 13 years. Sundays was the most watched final round of the playoffs. Since that time, they had 3.78 million viewers on average. It peaked at nearly 5 million viewers watching Scotty run away with this thing. 4.898 million. The final round delivered the most watched sporting event of any of the week on any network. Saturday delivered the record-setting audience of 2.871 million viewers. That's the most watched third-round event on the PGA Tour since the playoffs began in 2007. You couple that with, now the attendance wasn't the best, but the revenues, according to Robert Miller, who's not only tournament director, but he's also the sales manager. He was taking on both roles. According to him, they smashed all the records. Now that Grounds Plus with all the food, that was a $30, I think, bump on every Grounds ticket, if that's the way you went, and I think the majority did. So I hope, Brian Rolap, I hope the PGA Tour took notice of that. You heard Robert say he wants to stay here. He doesn't want to go anywhere. And he would accept the Challenger event. And he's, in his words, 110% certain they would find a title sponsor if indeed they don't get the championship event. He just told us he's not heard from the PGA Tour there's any chance for a championship event. You know, we've heard some hopeful stuff through the media. I think a little bit that it comes from FedEx and from St. Jude, hoping to continue to try to keep their name in there for a championship event. But he's pretty certain in 28 there will be an event, but most likely a challenger. And he says it will be a major success. Speaking of big numbers, Joe Dank's Milwaukee Brewers beat Seattle last night, 22-0. That ties the biggest shutout margin in the modern era. I had to look this up because I wasn't sure what the modern era of baseball is. The modern era of baseball goes back to 1901. So that's a lot of time. They hit 6 home runs in this game, 3 by Christian Yelich. This year, that has not been the calling card for the Brewers. They've hit 117 home runs this year. That's the fewest in the bigs. They are now 78-48. That's the best record in baseball by 2.5 games. There were 2 other 22-0 games since 1901. 1975, Pittsburgh at Wrigley pounded the Cubbies 22-0. And Cleveland beat the New York Yankees in 04, 22-0. Hard to believe, 3 times now, 22-0. What a crazy score that is. The Cowboys and the Saints yesterday, I don't know if you saw that, they have these things now where they do scrimmages. They're not exhibition games. They just come over for a couple of hours and play each other. Well, this one between the Cowboys and the Saints looked like WWE. They were brawling all over the place. One guy got, somersaulted down by the head. They almost canceled the darn thing, but they did not. It was in the back of my head. That's the most fight we'll probably see from the New Orleans Saints this year. And then finally, what does it take to do business in the NCAA if you really want to be a top-notch football team. This, according to CBS, 7 teams have at least $40 million payrolls, okay? 5 others are in that neighborhood. They are, LSU, I think, has the highest payroll. I think it's $45 million. Then A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas, of course. So you got those guys from the SEC, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, and USC from the Big Ten. You got Notre Dame, their own entity. You got one team from the ACC, Miami. Nobody from the Big 12 is in the 40 million club. And there's no Alabama. There's no Texas Tech. There's no Indiana, the defending champions. No, I'm not saying they're too far off $40 million, but they're not at $40 million. But that's what you got to pay in order to really put together a roster that people will figure is going to be competitive or at least have a chance at a national championship. And that's just football. That has nothing to do with, at the moment, the $21.3 million revenue share you're supposed to have as a cap. This is why the federal government has to get involved with the Save College Sports Act. That is crazy. It's almost Dennis time, and Dennis is brought to you by my good friends at Dinstall's, all 5 locations, and they still have the Summer Sizzler special. That's going to be going on for a couple more weeks. Heavenly Crunch pretzels. That's all mixed up with cranberries, golden grams, and nuts tossed in a light sweet coating. You can pick up extra at this special price for all the games next week. All the games. You know, high school football starts tomorrow night. Christian Brothers High School, I know, is playing. It's here. Football is here, and the Summer Sizzler special is going to be the Heavenly Crunch. They got Banana Bites back this week due to big demand. Last chance, so don't miss on this bite of chocolate-covered banana pudding. Can you beat that? Next week, the last dipping of strawberries. So if you love the strawberries like I do, nobody makes them like Dinstall's, you better get them now. 5 locations, 2 in the burbs, Germantown and Collierville. 1 downtown, 1 in my neck of the woods in Laurel Woods, and then there is the place they make it all on Pleasant View. Go get it and get the Summer Sizzler special. That is Heavenly Crunch.
It's time for Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave.
Welcome to Dennis on Dave.
Ah, Dennis, I haven't seen you in a while. You look the same.
I do. I look just about just a tiny bit balder probably than the last time.
I do. I think I see a missing hair or two. Yeah,
it's going. And the ironic thing about my hair is the longer I grow it, the more obvious it is that I'm bald. Because if it's really
so that's
short,
a dilemma.
If it's really short, you know, like if I just have a buzz cut, you know, it just people go, no, you're not bald. I grow it out and I look like I have mange.
So wait a second. Do you think when you get that cut, does it ever go in your mind like, do I really want to cut this because it might not grow back? Does that ever come into your head?
Dude, a couple of months ago, this went off track in a hurry.
Well,
a couple of months
that's live radio, baby.
I was in Dyersburg shooting a short film, and the character that I play, I allowed them to shave the top of my head, so I would be really bald.
Yeah.
And yes, there were a couple of seconds when they were going over the top of my head with the razor, and I thought, oh, dear God. But I've shaved my head before. In fact, the first time I shaved my head, I was doing one of those, celebrity waiter night things I think it was at Bosco's. Uh-huh. And one of the things was, if somebody ponied up $100, I'd let them shave my head, or other celebrities would let people shave their head.
So this was a long time ago, obviously, if it's only $100.
It's like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it is so... Nobody ponied up the money to shave my head. I'm apologizing to the event coordinator at the end, and our friend, Jeff Woods, busted out his checkbook 5 minutes later.
I saw Jeff Woods at the FedEx St. Jude Classic as a fan.
That is the first time Jeff Woods was a longtime videographer for Channel 3 Sports. That is the first time he's paid to go to a sporting event, I believe, in his adult life.
Wow.
And he paid the $100 so he could get the free cheeseburger and hot dog.
Which, by the way, was good.
It was a good deal,
Yeah.
and he said that food was really good. Okay, Now you were talking about the Brewers beating the Mariners last night. I believe it was 19-0 Brewers when Julio Rodriguez caught a routine fly ball for the Mariners and threw it into the stands because he thought it was the second out. Because he thought it was the third out. He thought it was the third out. It was the second out. So that scored another run. The Mariners are one snake bit team, man. Here's a stat, and this is the kind of thing that you accuse me of making up.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Seattle Mariners lead all teams in Major League Baseball. In the history of the Seattle Mariners, they've had 5 players rupture a testicle during a game.
No. How do you get this info?
5. I look it up. 5 players.
How did you Google that? Name the Seattle Mariners who have had ruptured testicles.
I did actually do that once I saw the stat about 5 of them. I didn't recognize any of their names, but every single one of them ruptured their testicle in exactly the way you'd imagine. It was either a foul ball, a bad hop, or just catching one right in the fuse box.
Oh my God!
But they have had 5. I've never heard of any of the guys, but 5 players.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I've ever heard of a ruptured testicle until today.
You didn't? Oh, come on! What was it? Not that long ago when Yadi or Molina took a fastball right
on
to the
it.
change burst.
Yeah.
Now, he was out for a while, and they never exactly said what it was. But trust me,
that was a ruptured.
He had a ruptured testicle. That was definitely part of it.
All of a sudden, now we are going to call you the doctor of ruptured testicles.
Oh, that's what yes. Give me another nickname that I have to walk around hanging over my head for the rest of my life. Before we get to here, let me ask you this: what about this for the golf tournament? What about an LPGA event?
I go for that. I go for seniors.
Well, okay, I thought about that. Well, that's technically the Champions Tour now.
No, it's not going to be anymore.
It's going back to Seniors Tour?
They're going to have a name for it, but it's too close to championship.
That makes sense.
So they're going to have to change champion.
Okay, well, I mean, I could see having a Seniors Tour event as long as it's not in August. Because you don't want
those people
guys who by rule are all over 50 years old.
Well, they can ride
to be walking around. We still don't want to kill any of them. But I think an LPGA event would probably be a pretty cool thing to have.
Here is the one thing you have to look at. You can't have it much earlier than June 1st because the grass doesn't grow correctly here for Bermuda grass, which is what every course has. Until there's 70-degree nights. So pretty hard to get a golf course ready in Memphis before June 1st.
There is a small window, but moving, obviously everybody would love to have the tournament at least move somewhere out of August because it's just so brutal. Sad loss, of course, in the world of sports. Bill Rasmussen, one of the founders of ESPN, ripped from us at the young age of 93. And it's such a legend, and everybody talks about it. We used to talk about it at least all the time. That ESPN started with a $3,000 loan. Bill Rasmussen.
That's so funny because I read the story that he did it on $9,000 worth of credit card debt. He extended his credit card $9,000 in order to make this.
Well, the legend has always been that it was a $3,000 loan, and that's what they built this multi-billion-dollar empire that, in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas of sports, has become a monopoly. But I remember when I was, of course, doing stand-up when ESPN first came on, or when they announced they were going to have a 24-hour sports network. I was just like,
79.
Well, I was like, what are they going to fill 24 hours with? I mean, what are they going to have on at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like bowling for furniture? Celebrity shooting fish in a barrel? What is it going to be?
I saw the opening 2.5 minutes where they had this guy, Lee Hamilton, who was going to explain the format.
Yeah.
He throws it to George Grand at the Sports Center desk, who says, this is what we're going to do here on this desk. They called it the Sports Center right off the bat. And then it's back to Lee Hamilton to say, coming up, a doubleheader, pro softball.
And lots of lumberjacking.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, 3 o'clock in the morning on ESPN, that's what you're going to see.
I'll tell you who did really well with that was a guy, a producer, a great guy named Jerry McInnes, who had a production company that did a lot of outdoor stuff in Little Rock, and he made a fortune producing ESPN.
Because there was a lot of fishing, too.
Yeah.
ESPN had a lot of fishing.
And those lumberjack games, he did not.
I always wanted to try the log rolling. Now, last week, of course, you were out at the golf tournament,
Yeah.
and I knew you were going to. So I would have been on the phone. It would have been too distracting for me to come in here and bitch about Little League Baseball being on television. Why? I know it's a slow time of year, but why? I do not want to watch children.
They're good.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're
they
children.
are.
I don't want to watch children compete at anything unless it's like the Hunger Games. I mean, if they're going to hunt one another, I'm in. But I don't want to watch children play sports on television. Why?
You are a sicko. You don't like watching real competition with these young kids who are actually pretty dang good for that age. It's amazing to me. And you're into ruptured testicles. I mean, I don't know where you're coming
from. I would
from.
describe myself as being into ruptured testicles. I think that's kind of a strong way to put it. This is interesting. I love this story. Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Sayer Wright is leaving the Cincinnati Bengals to star in a movie. He's an actor.
Huh.
He's been in movies before. He was in, get this, we're got to find the exact name, Space Jam, A New Legacy.
Is that LeBron's deal?
Yeah. He played Bronny James. This guy played LeBron James' son. And LeBron James is so bad at being LeBron James' son that he couldn't even play himself in the movie. They had to hire somebody else to play him. I mean, he was literally playing Bronny.
That's wild.
I thought that was pretty insane. The Nets owner, Joe Tsai, recently said that the Knicks championship run was an embarrassment for the Nets.
I saw that.
Aside from the New York Liberty, every New York team should be embarrassed by the Knicks championship run. I mean, it's starting to be grim in New York City for getting to championships.
When's the last time the Yankees won the title?
It's been probably, 11 years?
2009.
Is it 2009?
Yeah.
J Ham to the
I don't
rest.
have off the top
That's
of my
quick,
head.
buddy. That's good.
What was it? 2009?
2009.
All right, so yeah, it's been a while for everybody. On this day in baseball history, this is a good one. On this day in baseball history, Alice Roth, one of the unluckiest spectators in baseball history, her husband was a reporter for a newspaper, so she was sitting in the dugout. This is a reporter's wife sitting in the dugout on this day in 1957. She took a foul ball off the face. Oof. While she was being treated for a broken nose, the next pitch was fouled off her leg, which broke it. Back-to-back pitches, broken nose, broken leg. That's
I guarantee you,
Alice Toth.
had she been a man, it would have been in the testicles.
And it would have been ruptured. And then there's this. Everybody's favorite loudmouth former kicker, Pat McAfee. He has an album out. Did you know this?
No.
Yes, he does.
Like, he needs more money. He makes like $30 million a year.
So this imbecile has got an album out, and a legitimate music critic joked to his editor because they were just talking about how much they hate Pat McAfee. And he said, you know what? I should actually do a review of his album, jokingly. And his editor said, yeah, do that. So this poor guy had to sit through Pat McAfee's record. Here are some of the
what is he?
Well, here are some. Let's see. Here are some of the things that he provided as much joy as the sound of a screaming baby. Hated it. And as he went, he went track by track.
What kind of music is it? Country?
It's mostly sort of country rock.
Okay.
It's not rap, which frankly I was surprised.
I was thinking it was going to be.
I thought there would be at least a couple of those, but he did it track by track, and each track review got shorter and shorter because he was getting more and more miserable listening to this album. He literally by the time he was in like 10 tracks in, he was going, "Just please God, let this end. Let this," and this is a quote. Let's put it into the train of diarrhea and disappointment. That is a quote.
Wow.
That is a quote from a legitimate music critic.
How would you hear this on Spotify? I mean,
I imagine so. Yeah. I imagine that's exactly how you get
Wow.
it.
Who produced this record?
This is a legitimate. There's some
Not
really
ESPN,
legitimate.
this is a-
no. This is it's legit.
By the way, did you see the Columbia warehouse thing is No more?
No.
Went out of business yesterday.
Oh, you get like, what was it? You got 13 records for a penny?
Yeah, well, it's 12, then it went to 7.
Yeah.
And then the next month, you would get an album that they wanted
That
to
you
sell
selected.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting
for $28.
You're getting like Laughs with Minnie Pearl. you got a podium.
No, you would actually get a good record, but they would charge you like 10 times the amount. No kidding.
It worked out beautifully. And Major League Baseball has approved the sale of the Padres to Jose Feliciano. Sadly, he won't be able to see the games. It's a billionaire investor whose name happens to be Jose Feliciano.
Oh. That's how you're ending on that note?
I'm ending on that. Well, I've already got diarrhea and ruptured testicles. Why not end with one more tasteless joke?
Yeah, I get that. Well, I'm with you on that one.
I put work into these,
Oh, yeah. And that is Dennis on Dave, brought to you in part by Family Leisure. Don't forget the dog days of summer where swimming pools can go as low as under $2,000, $1,999. Patio furniture up to 50% off. Get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. She owns the place. You'll be amazed at the deals. You'll love how beautiful it is inside there. You can still get, I think, a pretty good price on chemicals. Go check it all out. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. When we come back, the business of sports with Joe Dank. He comes your way in a minute.
All right. Have fun, Joe.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for that perfect piece that says forever? As did Grammy winner Lainey Wilson for her engagement. Discover the elegance of Holly Winter fine jewelry in Germantown. From stunning custom designs and engagement rings to timeless gifts you'll treasure for years, Holly Winter offers personalized service and beautiful fine jewelry for every occasion. Visit Holly Winter Fine Jewelry at the Shops of Forest Hill on Poplar, where Memphis finds sparkle, style, and something truly special. Holly Winter Fine Jewelry, 9155 Poplar, Suite 18.
Old Dominick Distillery's award-winning 8-year reserve bourbon is back in Memphis for its second year. Small batch, intentional, and proudly made in Memphis. This is bourbon for the love of bourbon. A slow sipper with a flavor journey that's been refined by time. Find Old Dominick's 8-year reserve bourbon at an area retailer. This pour is reserved for you. Old Dominick Distillery, 305 South Front Street, or online at olddominick.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Memphis, if you've been in a car accident, money is on the line. Medical bills, lost pay, your future. NST fights for this city and has for over 35 years, winning big for Memphis families. The call is free, no fee unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Had a great week. We talked the business of sports with Joe Dank, former general manager of Channel 24 and 30, and a guy who's produced and directed hundreds of television sports games. Got your Next Star Broadcasting Group shirt on. You know, that's what happens when you retire. You start wearing stuff that's 7 years old.
Look, if it fits,
Speechless.
wear it.
You did not see that
I
one
didn't see it coming at all. You got me.
All right, your thoughts on the FedEx St. Jude Classic? I don't think we've talked really on the air since we learned they're not going to be on the championship tour. There may be a challenger if that's the way it's going to go. Listening to Robert Miller this morning on Greg and Eli, I think that's the direction it is going. I know that Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal wrote a very hopeful column that there was still a chance to be on the championship tour. Robert Miller just told us he's heard that from the press, but he hasn't heard that from the tour. So I don't know where all that stands, but your first reaction when you realized that the big leagues weren't coming?
Well, the first is just as a resident of the community and a fan of the sport was disappointment. The reality, however, we always thought was it was going to take FedEx staying in for Memphis to stay in a prime position on the tour, and the word is that
you mean as a title sponsor for the tour?
Yes,
Yes,
mean because Memphis was benefiting. Memphis would never. Does anybody think Memphis would have been hosting the first round of the playoffs if FedEx wasn't the sponsor of the FedEx Cup?
No, I don't think they would. Although I will say this, I think there is a lot of respect for Southwind, which is a TPC course. In other words, the PGA owns that course. So they like to play great courses, and Southwind has become one of the greater courses in the TPC chain.
There's no question. All of these things came together. This was a perfect little thing that came together. Now the world evolves, the world changes, and everything else happens, and a new guy's in charge, and he has new objectives and new financial objectives and goals, and somehow it seems that it no longer could stay.
Again, I think, and we don't know for a fact, but we can pretty well see that FedEx probably said, you know what, our run as being the tour's title sponsor is come to an end. I don't know who it'll be. Somebody like Amazon, some major gargantuan is going to end up doing it because the price went way up and FedEx didn't think it was worth it. Once that happened, Memphis's leverage was gone.
Well, look, as a guy who spent a long time in media, as a news director and evaluated media coverage and everything else, I do think it's a little bit interesting that the only facts that have been announced by the PGA Tour and its commissioner is that Memphis doesn't have a golf tournament in 2028.
Right.
I mean,
that is a fact.
And everybody else is talking about all kinds of other stuff. And there's stories that are simply based on people around the course were talking that they hope there's going to be a tournament. Well, of course they are, but we're in Memphis. What are they going to be saying? So it's just interesting.
Can I just point out that the tour did put out that they felt something would be here. There would still be a connection post 27.
But it's not going to be at the championship level.
I think
that's clear.
Right. That is
so
their
totally
release
clear.
was clear.
And so then this community and this golf community and this donor community and everything else has to decide, frankly, if it wants to have the equivalency of a Corn Ferry stop. And that's a different thing.
No doubt.
And is Memphis going to be a minor league town? Because that's what that is. It's a minor league golf tour.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But the last thing on this is there are 24, including the majors, 24 championship tour events. I don't know how many have been announced. Obviously, those 4, there's no problem. There have been several of the championship tour events. Maybe 6 or 7 have not been announced yet. How about Greensboro getting one? The state of it put up $40 million for that. And Raymond James put up a bunch of money, even though they're in Tampa. They wanted it in Greensboro, which was, it was enlightening. I didn't realize Greensboro actually has a slightly larger market size than Memphis.
Sure.
Anyway, the bottom line is they got one that was announced with Raymond James as the sponsor, but there's still 6, 7 of those out there that have not been named. Do they have? Is there an abundance of $30 to $40 million sponsors? Could it be that maybe Roll-App can't find the final pieces and have to come back? I mean, that's got to be part of what we consider the hope that there could still be a championship event here, move to June or late, the last week of May.
I get everything you just said. I just cannot imagine, nor can I believe that they would have announced this definitively.
Yes.
The week before this tournament started, that there will not be a championship tour event here. And so that's that. We're just, it's kind of like that old line. If somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. No.
It's the same thing here.
But,
there's not going to be an event. Believe it.
Back to your news director cap. Put that back on for a second.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Because I've thought about this. Why do you think the tour, a week and a half before the tournament was here, made this announcement? Why didn't they make that announcement today? It was on a Wednesday, by the way.
No, I get it, but it
2
was
weeks ago.
The tour turns its attention to the next stop on the tour and does advance media against it and answers questions that are surrounding the tournament. I didn't think that the timing was suspicious. I thought it was appropriate. I mean, you and I recall. David,
PR-wise, I don't think it was good.
Well, but they're beyond that. I mean, sometimes when you make the tough call and the tough decision, you're not going to win anything, so you want to get ahead of it. And so you came here and got beat up for canceling it. Was that any better than having just wild speculation overshadow the entire tournament for the whole time it was here? And that would have been the whole story. Would have been what's the future of the tournament? Mm-hmm. They answered it before the tournament started, so I think that's legit. The TV ratings were good, by the way.
TV ratings, I already mentioned, but they were record-breaking, and also, according to Robert Miller, so were the sponsorship and revenue numbers. He said attendance might not have been as good as in the past in some tournaments, but that was because it was 130 degrees outside.
Right.
But the revenue, particularly because of Grounds Plus with the food concept, which was a pretty good concept, that was record-breaking. So you got record-breaking sales for sponsorships, record-breaking revenue stream, record-breaking network ratings. I don't know if that comes into play at all on this decision, but it's interesting.
Well, so I think it is interesting. The Sunday TV rating on CBS was plus 5% versus last year's NBC rating. Okay. The tour this year, though, was up everywhere. So the tour was plus 16% for the year. It did plus 5 here. Okay, there are 3 tour stops, regular tour stops, that the Sunday final round television number was equal to or better than the FedEx. Phoenix tied it.
Wow,
with 3.8. The RBC Heritage did 4.3 million against Memphis's 3.78. And the Players Championship did 4.4,
which is really like the 5th major.
Exactly. Now the 4 majors obviously were better, and should be, but only 3 tour stops beat Memphis. Now it probably is fair to point out Memphis is the first playoff.
It's the Players in the
right.
playoff.
So
also, I think this was interesting. I can't remember if this. It might have been pointed out by Greg Arile. The numbers were so good; they peaked at almost 5 million. In a runaway, which goes to show you, it's who, what, when, where, and why, right? Scotty Scheffler has become a who. Those are Tiger-like. It's the second time he's won by 8 strokes. His 21 victories, I believe 10 have been by more than 4 strokes. It's 11 straight times where he's had the 54-hole lead that he's gone on to win the tournament. So he is producing numbers even though he's running away with tournaments. People want to see him. He's become Tiger-like in that draw.
Yeah, I think after the great round, I guess on Friday.
Yeah.
After Friday, he became a big story to see how low he could go.
Right.
That was a big deal. By the way, yes, it was playoffs, so it better be good. And secondarily, though, really a favorable environment. Not a lot of competition on television this weekend. And we always talk about the environment counts. Yeah. Environment counts.
Yeah.
It's easier to get a big number when you're not going up against something else of great significance.
Let's face it, we should point out how great Scotty is. That 4 under?
Oh, yeah.
When he could have coasted and just played safe. 4 under was the best round of the day.
I know.
Unbelievable. All right, let's move on. Field of Dreams. You've got a personal thing about Field of Dreams. It is kind of cool the way it's produced. I saw all the Hall of Famers coming out of the cornfield. That was kind of cool. I actually watched some of the game the night before the majors. They had the minor leaguers in there. They had the I Cubs and St. Paul. But it's so cool the way it's produced.
Look, everything about it is still just it is amazing, and so the game was played last Thursday. That was the third time they've played a major league game at that site.
How many does that seat, by the way? Do you know?
It's a brand new permanent stadium with 4,200 permanent seats, and they bring in extra seats to bring it up to 8,000 for the major league game. So I found that interesting. But Netflix was the home for the broadcast this year. First time ever. They only got 1.6 million viewers on Netflix this year. The last time the game was played was 2022. There were 3.1 million viewers, but that was on Fox.
Sure.
Okay? And the first time they ever did it, and this was off the charts because nobody could believe it, that they were actually playing this, and it was such a unique thing. Back in 2021, 6 million people watched the White Sox play the Yankees on Fox. So, first time 6 million, latest time 1.6 million. You've gone from Fox, though, to Netflix.
Right.
But a couple of other things. This just blows me away because in 1989, when that movie came out,
Field of Dreams,
I was a news director at a TV station in Dubuque, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the site of the Field of Dreams is 30 miles west of Dubuque.
Did you meet Kevin Costner?
Costner was all over town. It shut down the town in many ways. It was just so interesting because the whole movie was filmed in and around the Dubuque area. They had tarps over South Main Street in Dubuque so they could shoot night scenes during the day. And they had transformed all of those storefronts to look like downtown Boston because you'll remember that's where the guy was. Costner was running around the University of Dubuque. Those scenes were very good. Western Dubuque High School was the scene of the big meeting and everything else. And then, of course, there was the actual field itself. And it was on two different farms. Left field was owned by one guy, right field and
I didn't know that.
Home plate, and they didn't get along, and they always fought over who was going to do all of this stuff. And so it was just very interesting. Finally, the last thing that happened that a lot of people will not know, in 1990 and 91, Upper Deck Trading Cards, baseball cards, sponsored a charitable baseball contest there and brought in Hall of Famers. I mean, and we were media sponsors, and we had access to all of this stuff. I mean, I saw Reggie Jackson hit a home run into the corn, sitting in those same stands where the little kid falls off the back in the movie. We were sitting in those stands. Bob Feller, Fergie Jenkins, and Bob Gibson pitched in the game.
Wow.
Meatloaf sang the national anthem standing on home plate 30 feet from where we were sitting. And directly in the row in front of us in those bleachers, Kelsey Grammer, Frazier from Cheers.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. Now, here's the one thing that I thought of, because this, as you know, is the first year of the new permanent ballpark.
Yes.
So I looked it up. This ballpark that they built in this cornfield in Iowa cost $50 million to build.
Oh, God.
How did they fund it? The state, the city of Dyersville, which is 4,000 people, the city of Dubuque, which is 60,000 people, and Dubuque County raised the public funds to build a ballpark in a cornfield in Iowa to play a game.
And they had to buy the fields from the guys, right?
And look what happened. And you have this great thing. Now,
tourism, baby, tourism.
Now, we've talked about $50 million for a ballpark around here.
Yeah.
And where are the public funding sources for that? They did it in Iowa to build a ballpark that's going to be used one time a year. I'll conclude with this. As of now, if there's going to be a baseball season next year, and of course there's some question about that due to the collective bargaining agreement, but next year on August 12th, the Red Sox are going to play the Royals in that permanent new baseball stadium in Dyersville, Iowa, and it's going to be on NBC. So we're going to look for a big number next year from this game. Can you imagine Bob Costas being at the Field of Dreams doing a game on NBC?
Why not?
He'll be out of his mind.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be the happiest guy on earth.
It'll actually be great. I would agree with that. All right, real quick, because I know you did the homework, but I'm running out of time. You mentioned Netflix for this Field of Dreams game, but you did a breakdown of the June TV ratings for sports by type, which I think is really cool. By streaming, by broadcast the normal way, and by cable.
Well, so look, we will recall that in June, the World Cup was on, and so were the NBA Finals. And both of those were on broadcast television, right? Fox had a lot of the World Cup games. Not exclusively, but the majority of the best games were on Fox, and the NBA Finals had the Knicks, and all 5 games We're on broadcast. Broadcast TV viewership in the month of June was up 118% over May.
God.
So they doubled.
More than double.
They just doubled it, right?
Yeah.
Fox affiliates in the month of June, their audience reach was up 73% because of those games.
Wow.
So it's incredible, right? So I you flip the page and you go, so where is the status of overall television viewing now? In the month of June, just being the latest number that the survey is complete, streaming accounts for 48.5% of television viewing.
No way.
That's almost half, obviously. Right?
Wow. Streaming is that high now.
Broadcast, with such a great month, checked in second at 19.8%.
So people are either streaming or getting it on cable over broadcast TV now.
Well, cable is 19.5. Cable slipped to third because...
Okay.
But
streaming's the key.
48.5%. And to break it down even further, of the distributors of video content, YouTube is number one with 13.8%. Wow. Disney number two at 9.6%. And NBCU is 9.1%. Netflix does come in fourth at 7.9%. And then Fox brings up the top five at 7.4%.
Wow.
But YouTube almost double what Fox has in the top five. Isn't that amazing?
Is HBO considered a cable or a streamer?
Well, HBO would come under Warner Brothers because that's who owns them. And so they're not cracking this. Because when you say Disney, I mean, Disney, you're talking Hulu, ESPN, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and ABC. That's a conglomerate. YouTube, YouTube has YouTube TV and all other kinds of distribution. NBCU, same thing. That's Peacock, Versant, all of that merged. But just the takeaway here is 48.5% of TV viewing is now done via streaming. So we've completely altered the landscape.
We have. Really. In the time we've been doing the business of sports,
exactly.
It's all changed.
That's right.
Incredible. You need cash. You can refinance your auto loan with Southern Security. You won't have a payment to have to make for 60 days. That's 2 months, folks. Southern Security will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle, and that is up to 72 months. So if you want to put more cash in your pocket, just call. You talk to a human at 901-452-7900 or go to southernsecurity.org. Let me tell you, they're not a bank. They're a credit union. They're not for profit. They can do things that banks cannot do. They've got 7 locations, and if you want to see the newest, latest, greatest in technology and the way a branch is put together, go see the one in Collierville. Southern Security, your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. We make golf picks, the BMW. We recap the FedEx St. Jude Championships. Mickey Barker, Johnny Lyon, Greg Hines, they come your way in just a minute.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It is quite literally the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Now, why is that? Glad you asked. Because Family Leisure wants to see your dog pictures, or whatever pet you have pictures of. Here's the details. With any Family Leisure purchase, you're going to get a dog bandana and a tennis ball. You take a picture of your pooch or any other pet with your newly purchased Family Leisure product, you get a $50 gift card. Come on, how many pictures do you already have of your pets on your phone? Family Leisure is giving you an excuse and a gift card to take one more. Now, what other dog days deals are there at Family Leisure? How about a swimming pool as low as $19.99? How about patio furniture that's up to 50% off? Get this, if you purchase any hot tub in stock, Family Leisure will give you a free theater seating set. Now you know why they're called the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family fun and your pets all come together.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises, just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle, and at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today. Together, let's drive.
K4T 349,980, MSRP 24,825, Celtos V 5010936, MSRP 27,130, Sorrento TG 455,570, MSRP 34,280, Telluride VGO 42,843, MSRP 44,420, EV9 TG 007645, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, must finance through KFA, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 8/31/26.
I've got Jeff Allen on the line. Gossett, Kia South Mount Moriah. Let's cut to the chase. What do you got for us?
Hey, Randy, you ready to make memories with your new ride? 2026 Kia K4 LXS, $229 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2027 Kia Seltos LX, $258 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2026 Kia Sorrento LX, $327 a month, and a 2027 Kia Telluride S, $449 a month, 24-month lease, $39.99 due at signing. And the all-new 2026 EV9 Land all-wheel drive, $12,000 off MSRP, or get 0% for 60 months.
All equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I love Wednesdays. I love chatting with the guys. Greg Hines from Windyke. Johnny Lyon, media giant in this town when it comes to golf and the deliverer of blazers to everybody. And then Mickey Barker, who is the czar of all of public golf. They join us now. It's a big week for Greg Hines because guess what? He got Scotty Scheffler and made some pretty good picks. He ended up with $4 million, about $300,000. Mickey gets closer. He had $2.2 million. Johnny, a bad week, $834,000. I had about $1.4 million, but Johnny still has a comfortable lead with $22,734,000. Greg now 19, almost 0.3, so he's within reach, Greg, of Johnny. But Johnny, it's all because of Scotty. You sent me this thing today. There's the Scotty rules. If you pick Scotty Scheffler, you make money. Good morning, Johnny. Oh man, thought I had all these guys on here. You guys, Johnny, you there? Mickey? Greg? I got to get Jay Ham back in here because I can't seem to get any of these guys for whatever reason. But the money, everybody's still in reach because you still got the $3.6 million for the next 2 weeks, but it would take a gargantuan effort to get past Johnny Lyon, that is for sure. We're having a technical problem.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now. So I got Greg, I got Mickey. We got to get back Johnny Lyon.
Well, while we're waiting, let's just talk about the fact he earned $23 million bonus. How does that not get added to my total?
That does not get there. It's like we were talking about this. Do you think that Ted Scott, his caddy, he gets 10% of the total prize money? You think he gets any of the bonus money?
I think he does. I mean, Ted's been a huge part of his surge onto the scene, right? I mean, he had just been kind of mediocre till he picked him up as a caddy. So I would think that he would be willing to throw him a little bone on some of that all the way along with Ray.
You think he gives him $2.3 million? That would be one heck of a weekend for him because then he would have made, he made $360,000.
I think his caddy makes more money than about 90% of the tour players, maybe 95%.
Certainly of the Challenger Tour event, guys, that's for sure. Mickey Barker, your thoughts about the FESJC?
What a wonderful event. Just Robert Miller and the gang out there just put on a fantastic tournament. I thought the all-inclusive ticket was just the perfect thing, especially on a week where it was, as you say, 130 degrees out there. So, yeah, it was fantastic. If it is the second class, which I really hope it's not and don't think it is, but it's a great way to go out. They definitely have the template to put on a great tournament.
Yeah, they did, and the numbers show that by sponsorship, by revenue stream, and by television ratings for sure. Johnny Lyon, you sent me something earlier about Scotty Scheffler. I guess it's a machine. If you pick him, you're going to make money.
Oh yeah, Scotty's impossible to stop right now. So, but I thought the tournament was great, and there was so much sentiment for the St. Jude part of the tournament that I think the world is coming to grips with, that it's not just a golf tournament, that it's just about the world's largest charity event too.
Well, I have never seen CBS sort of contradict their own partnership with PGA Tour, because they were really singing the praises of the city, of St. Jude, of the golf course. And you could sense from Jim Nantz a real sadness that there's only one more of these. Mickey, did you see the same sort of thing?
A little bit, yeah. I think they were helping our push. I say our, the city of Memphis collectively pushing to remain a tour stop. So they were definitely on the city of Memphis side for sure throughout that broadcast, and shed a great light. I mean, Nance is a Tennessean now, been here for 5 years.
Yeah, lives in Nashville.
Yeah, he's definitely he's all for us going forward.
Greg, last thing before we make picks here, and Mickey's going to get to go first now, and I'm second, as Greg has moved into the third position, followed by Johnny. But, Greg, do you think a challenger, you're a businessman, do you think a challenger event will sell here in 28?
I think there's such a good such a good golf crowd in this community that understands golf. And when you look at these young kids playing aggressively, man, I'm telling you, I think that the pure golf fan will be all in. Some of the casual fans, some of the people who come out just to see those one or two big name players. But I mean, when you look at the tour from top to bottom, I mean, these guys they're so close. It's incredible. And I think it'll do well. I think that the golf purists and the fact that it's for such a great event, St. Jude, I think the city understands it. I think we'll continue to push and go forward, and I think the city will do that.
Well, they weren't close to Scotty. He had the best round on the last day, won by 8 for the second time in his career on a golf course that was really, really hard. So let's get down to it, Mickey. If you don't take Scotty, I will.
This may have been the easiest pick I've ever had. So Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. I actually think he could win, too, to make sure he's the player of the year. I think he's already got it, to be honest. When you look at the fact that he's won twice, he's had 5 second place, another 5 top 4. That means 12 times out of this year's tournaments, he's finished in the top 4. That is just incredible. I'm going to surprise people with my second pick, because I could probably get him next round, but I don't want to lose him. At least Mickey's not there to – well, he is there to steal. I'm going to take Wyndham Clark. That means it's you, Greg.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. I like that. I mean, I got a hard time not taking Sam Burns in this spot. He just kind of faded the last day, but really played well.
All right. You've got Sam Burns. Johnny, who are you going to take?
Oh, I guess I'll have to take Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That is
the only one that has a chance, I think.
Yeah, I think he does too. All right. Please don't steal the guy that I want. I know you're going to, Mickey. You do every week.
Well, I'm going to take a true Texan.
Oh, okay.
For my pick here, yeah. Siwoo Kim.
Oh, you son of a gun. That was my guy. True Texan. Okay. I'll take Xander Schauffele. He's due.
All right, that means I'm probably going to go with the guy who I really was disappointed in his final round, and I wasn't going to take him if I was in this spot. And you know what? I'm not. I was going to take him, but I'm going to take Matt Fitzpatrick. Just talk myself out of it.
There you go. Johnny?
Oh, boy. We'll take Chris Goddard out.
Okay. He did, he's such an up and down guy. He's an interesting cat for sure. Okay. That puts us back to the Steeler, Mickey Barker.
Hard to believe that he's still out there, but I am not taking anybody from Northern Ireland in this pick. I'm going to go with Tom Kim.
Okay.
He's playing so good. Had a bad weekend, but I think he'll play well this week.
Now, when the guy admits that he didn't prepare for this. He's only played, 14 times this year? He's moved to London because he doesn't care anymore. I wouldn't go with Rory. I have that chance here. I don't think he's got a chance this week. I'm going to take Tommy Fleetwood.
Well, you made that decision easy on me because I wanted Fleetwood. I'm going to go Alex Noren.
Okay. I don't think Johnny's going to take my guy. You know who my guy is. It's Oberg. Oberg is so good 3 out of 4 rounds. He has one stinker round that takes him out of the tournament every week. It's amazing. Who are you going to take?
Take Rory.
You're taking Rory.
Can't pass him up.
I could easily do that. Player of the year, real quick, all three of you guys. Player of the year, Scotty, right? Start with you, Johnny.
Scotty Scheffler, without a doubt.
Mickey?
100% Scotty Scheffler.
Greg?
That's unanimous. There's no doubt.
I don't think how you go against him because he's got 2 wins, even though it's not a major, but he's got a playoff win. And all those second places and top 4 finishes, there's nobody with the consistency. We got 4 different major winners. Wyndham Clark's won a couple. He might be my second pick. I guess that's, about as simple as you could put it. Who would be second in your guys' voting? We start with Johnny.
Wyndham Clark.
Wow, you agree?
Without a doubt.
Mickey?
It's very close between him and Matt Fitzpatrick.
Matt Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick kind of faded toward the end of the year. So I would probably lean toward Wyndham.
Greg?
Yeah, if you'd picked this thing like June 25th, you would have picked Fitzpatrick for sure. So, but I like Fitzpatrick in there.
All right.
Second.
We got the BMW this week, and after that, we've got Atlanta. And I look forward to that. Gentlemen, I thank you for your contributions all year long. We'll do it again next week.
Have a great week. Congratulations on the grandbaby.
Thank you. My second, yeah. I'm in heaven over that. That's Johnny Lyon, Mickey Barker, and Greg Hines. They are brought to you by Sheldon, who loves golf but can't play golf. You know why he's so bad at golf? Because he's selling houses all the time, 24/7. That's crazy.
That's why they call him Mr. 3-Putt.
Mr. 3-Putt, Mr. Shank, but they call him Divine when you talk about selling houses, because that's what he does. He's been doing it for 40 years, 24/7, 365, and he says the market is hot right now, just like the temperature. If your house hasn't sold in the last 30 to 45 days, something's wrong. What could be wrong? Condition for one thing. Buyers today are super picky. The other could be price in relation to that condition. In any event, if you haven't really gotten your house to move, maybe you need another opinion, and his is the one you should get. When you want the job done, call Sheldon. He's the guy. I'm telling you, people often call him just to talk about their situation. He's always happy to help. So if you want to talk, whether it's about selling your home or maybe you can give him advice for that lousy golf game, give him a call. It's simple. 483-0546. I guarantee you he'll pick up by the second ring, or go to memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. We'll see you again tomorrow. Full show then. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. Stay cool. It's going to be 111 with the heat index today.